And we are back. We are back with another What Grinds My Gears episode. Can't make
Do you
this
know
shit
who
up.
Yo, can you put that on a sound clip for me?
What?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Yeah, I should grab my own clip. Do you know who I am? Oh man. Before we
That'd
begin,
be great for a Grind My Gears intro. Just spam that.
yeah. Do you know who I am? Actually, I'll see what I can do. Before we really dive into it, make sure you guys do check the description below. We got some good Buzz TV products down there that will take care of all your streaming needs. It doesn't do Netflix in 4K, but screw Netflix. But other than that, Buzz TV. All right, what do you got?
There's so much I can say about that, but I'm just gonna say there's other great links down in the description below for other things that obviously are beneficial to you, to us, to everyone in between, such as VPN links that have some really, really good sales on right now. That also offer some other tools for your utility belt. We always say that a VPN is another tool for your utility belt that you should have when you're troubleshooting your BS. So this VPN in the description below also has a control tower that helps you do ad blocking and parental controls and many, many more things. So make sure you check out the links in the description below.
Explosions. Okay.
Here we go.
It's about to go down. So I normally don't share our BS episodes on Facebook, but I know that's where a lot of some of the frustration comes from. And it's not even frustration, but if anybody could relate to this stuff, leave comments. It should be very interesting. It should be very interesting reading some of your comments on this episode. So some of the stuff's going to be a little bit personal. I'm going to try my hardest to leave names out. And Next Level just pretty much said, you just want to rant, do you? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do.
I'm like, do you, boo-boo? Do you, boo-boo? By the way, I did go see Kevin Hart.
Oh, how was that?
He pissed me off before I even got in the doors.
Was he late?
No, well, he was late, so I waited an hour to get in, right? And you know how I always have my JBL headphones on?
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing my JBL headphones, and I knew getting there that they put our cell phones in one of those pouches. I knew that, right? So I get to the gate, they scan my ticket, they put my cell phone in the pouch, they make me take off my watch, they put it in the pouch, and then they go, your headphones need to go to baggage. And I'm like, where's baggage? They're like, you have to leave, and then across from where the lineup is where you would check in your baggage. And I'm like, I waited an hour in this lineup. I'm with 6 people, and you want me to leave and then line back up after you just scan my ticket? And they're like, yeah, you can't come in with headphones. I'm like, what am I going to do with the headphones?
Wow.
Like, really? I'm like, these are foldable headphones. We could try to put them in a pouch. And they're like, no. And I'm like, so what do we do? They're like, you got to go to baggage. I'm like, I'm not leaving. So I ended up throwing out my JBL headphones.
Oh, wow.
Because I was with 6 people. What am I going to do, right? Like, am I going to leave all 6 people because I'm with all the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of bullshit. So,
but then again, why the hell would you bring freaking headphones to a good comedy show?
Because I took the train. I took the train in. I didn't drive in. So I took my headphones to listen because it was an hour train ride.
Yeah.
So.
Sure bought earbuds.
I know. I'm not an earbud guy.
I just got off a phone call from a company in Japan.
Upside down? Yeah, there we go.
The world's first ceramic earbud.
I swear I've seen ceramic earbuds before.
I don't think I have. The chamber on these things are usually some kind of like plastic or hard plastic. This company's not even officially out yet. Like they're working on their branding, they're working on the bud, they're working on everything. Dude, I am I want to get a hold of El Jefe and Digital Slang and see if the company can send them this stuff, because I know that's what they do all the time. They review them out the box, bro. They're fire. Like out as soon as you open it up, put them in. It is insane how nice they are. So okay. Happy Thanksgiving. It's right around the corner. You guys already had your Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
So happy late Thanksgiving for you guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Here in the States, it's coming.
Gobble, gobble.
If you guys are still watching and listening and thinking like, what kind of like tangents are we on right now? Well, that is grinding my gears, so we can do whatever the hell we want. Okay, so let us begin. So as you guys know, I just started my TikTok a couple, like 2 months ago, and it's growing kind of pretty good. It's like, I think I'm at like 300 followers, all organic, just posting, see what it does. My Facebook, I think I'm over 2,000 followers all of a sudden. I started posting some reels on my Instagram. I'm getting pretty close to 300. So I'm a baby with you know, I'm just starting on these reels things, or shorts or whatever you want to call them. And you know, sometimes when we see posts, so, you know, we'll like them and we try to support each other. And I know you and me had this convo where we said sometimes our biggest supporters don't even come from family members. They come from, well, you guys out there listening to us. You guys kind of became our family. And, you know, kind of like how Beyond the Streams started. Two strangers from two different countries. One liked the K app and hated the APKs. The other one loved the APKs and didn't care much for the K app. And somehow we're here, you know, doing this shit, just randomly having these conversations. And, you know, just we're on this crazy roller coaster ride, you know? So a couple things happened, or has been happening, and it is going to get a little bit personal. Hopefully I don't offend anybody. I might lose some people, might lose some friends, family. I am going to start doing some clips and shorts on my travel stuff, and some of them are going to be directed on certain things that I just kind of have to just laugh about, you know? I just literally have to laugh about. And I was talking to my brother-in-law about this, my friend about this. And I kind of gave him an example. I'm just like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was kind of like, what? So let's start with this. And I'm gonna, there's like two ways I want to go about this stuff. One going with supporting each other, and the other one going with death. Yeah. Next, I was just like, where are we going with this now? Okay. So here we go. We're almost like 10 minutes in, and I'm just starting into this. So some of you guys know, was married before, divorced, and I don't know. I'll just ask this to the next level. You and me are family, and I'm going through some hard times. Do you back me up, or do you want proof of what happened? Or do you want to know what happened? Or do you care what happened?
Okay. I'm always very political with my answers.
Mm-hmm.
Always. right?
But we're talking about bro to bro.
Right. But at the same step, that's how I handle everything in my life, right?
Right.
So your business is your business. That's how I handle everything. So whatever you share with me is what you share with me, because anything beyond what you share with me is not my business, right? So if you share with me what happens to a certain extent, my only thing, if we're bros, if we're friends, if I respect you, then my only job is to be there for you. That's it. My job isn't to make you do something different. My job isn't to find out the real details, hire a private investigator and a security guard, and go hire a hitman. That's not my job.
Where's Mimson,
Right.
damn it?
Right? My job is just to listen to you and support you. That's it. Right? I don't give an F about I need to hear both sides and I need to decide this, and this. No, I don't give a fuck. My job is just to listen to you and support you. That's it.
Okay, I have a follow-up. Let's just say, and I know it's kind of harder right now because, well, it's not harder. It's hard right now because I live here in the States and you live in Canada. But, you know, let's just say, you have you have a close cousin, you have a close brother, a close sister, a close uncle or aunt, a close, whatever you want to call it, a close family member that lives by you. And you've had your ex come around the family all the time. And you know, let's just say or not your ex, but their ex, and let's just say that's me. I'm using myself as an example. I'm coming over all the time. I'm bringing my current wife at the time. And you know, you guys build obviously a friendship, a relationship. You're like, yeah, you're married to my cousin or my friend or my whatever. Do you, because you're saying like, you know what, I'm just here to support you, I don't really give a shit, I'm like, I don't care what happened, I'm just here to support you, because you've built that bond also with her, even though I was your friend first or your family, do you continue having those conversations with her and saying, hey, I don't give a shit what happened, I'm supporting you and I'm also supporting you? Or I'm supporting you, and if you need anything, I'll be here too. Or I'm supporting you, and sorry, I'm just supporting my family over here. What do you do, I guess? Or
So
what do you think is right?
Okay, so my circles aren't big enough to usually fall into an issue like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So usually if something happens, I've never, okay, so I mean, knock on wood, I've never been put in a situation like that because one, my circles aren't big enough like that, and I'm not generally one that's really close with family, right? And the family that I'm close with, I'm close with the family. Like, I'm not like I knew the family before I knew the people, you know? Like,
Yeah.
There are other people. I love all of my inherited family, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, the family that I'm close with, I'm close with.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, I'm there to support them. I have run into like situations where, because I've gone through a divorce as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've run into situations where I've seen some family members in contact with my ex, and they would be like, "Well, you know, they were trying to hide it or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
But it was because she was running a business that was related to something that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, business is business. Like, you guys do whatever you got to do, as long as I'm left out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me out of it. I don't give a shit. Like, if you have to do anything with that, like, now I'm pretty sure like none of my family interact at all with them at all. Right. But even if they did, I don't have to hear about it. So I don't have to hear about it, and they don't have to talk about me.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that they talk about me is the moment that relationship needs to end.
Yeah. So pretty much, you go family. Family is thicker than water, is what you're saying. You're gonna have them. You're gonna back them up over that. And the only time they've kind of had any relationship with your ex was because of the business, but outside of that, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
I would have thought personally that you would have said, well, we have a kid together, and that kind of not ties. Not it. No, I don't use the word tie. It doesn't, like, it almost semi forces them to have somewhat of some kind of relationship. I would have accepted that, actually, if you would have been like, because we have a kid, they kind of talk to her every now and then, but it's really like,
No, that's not okay. So my
that's not even an issue.
perspective is that that's not my family's responsibility to keep communications with her because of my kid. That's my responsibility as a father to instill that into my son.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with my family at all.
Right.
That's the only relationship that means anything with my ex is my kid's relationship, not mine, not my family's, not anybody else's. The only anybody that should be concerned is my kid.
Right. Which I agree. I totally agree. But as we know, there are some family members that will probably still try to keep in contact for whatever reason. But
like I said, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have relationships, but there's boundaries. You don't talk about me. You don't make it personal. And if it was a relationship that you had prior to, then you go back to the prior to relationship that has nothing to do with me again.
Yeah. So
don't talk about the what ifs. Don't talk about bullshit. Don't talk about all that shit.
So I'll share something ultra personal, obviously, or it's already personal, but when my divorce was going on, I actually had my ex. So me and my ex-wife were just going back and forth about, I had the Disney Vacation Club. I had the timeshares signed in, and I needed her name to be off of it. I didn't want her to have any control of it or any use of it, or just nothing to do with the loans or the mortgage on those. And the easiest way to call them is timeshares, even though they're not really timeshares, but they act like a timeshare. And we kind of Hermie agreed to. And again, I didn't want to get rid of the dog that I had back then. I had this like Jackrabbit Beagle that was a freaking cool dog. He looked like he had a little lightning on his neck, on the back, like upper back neck. And he was like my little buddy, We also had a cat that I got her for her birthday long time ago, obviously. And I'm just like, hey, cat's yours, dog's mine, this is yours, this is mine, this is yours, this is mine. I paid for this freaking, like, I still have the loan in my name for the Disney Vacation Club at that time. And I'm like, I'm just going to transfer. I'm like, all I'm going to do is just drop your name so you're not responsible for any of it, but I still owe a shit ton of money for it. And she, like, we weren't married for 3 years even. It was like 2 years and change. She was kind of like, so I had both of my stepdad's cars, and I had to deal with that. And she was like, hey, we're married, so one of those cars are mine. She didn't have a car. It was literally like, I had my truck, I bought another car, and I let her use it. My stepdad or my dad gave me 2 other cars, and if she needed one, she'd use it. So I had like 4 cars. And she was like, nope, I'm going to take 2 of those cars. You could keep the other 2. She was literally trying to go 50-50 on everything. I'm like, dude, like, these 2 cars aren't even in my name yet. Like, no. She's like, I don't care. So Hermie came to an agreement on a bunch of stuff. She ended up keeping the dog and the cat. And I ended up keeping like the Disney Vacation Club thing. So just to shorten that piece up without getting into details on what we fought over, I had to keep communication with her for, well, it was for several months. I think it was like 8 months while we're like going through the divorce, and it was an easy process. We weren't arguing about anything. We weren't fighting anything. It was literally waiting for the court to do whatever paperwork was going on. But we weren't going back and forth with lawyers. We already submitted everything that we did. We had everything on paper. She already signed. I already signed. We were just literally waiting for the court to finalize shit. 8 months, bro. I'm like, dude, why? Why is it taking so damn long? And when it was done, one of the papers said that I had to get a thing notarized for the Disney Vacation thing to transfer. And I still had to talk to her for another year after that. It was close to 2 years that we were still talking after the divorce to get everything like completely finalized. There was one time that we had a conversation, and she says it's pretty sad that I can tell your family one thing and they believe me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's just like, yeah. She's like, you haven't seen Facebook? We have like 70 something mutual friends. And most of them, I think like all 70 something, we had a couple friends, you know? But yeah, we had 70 something mutual family friends, and they weren't her family friends with me. They all unfriended me. Her entire family unfriended me. It was my entire family that was still friends with her. And I'm just like, the freak.
Okay. All right. So, okay. I'm going to give you a reason. So
shoot.
My family's from the Caribbean. We have a term for people. It's called mako. So we say, if somebody likes to be nosy in people's business, they're a mako. They're makoing people. They're just, invested into things that have nothing to do with them, because sometimes people just like drama. Has nothing to do with them, but they want to just witness that shit and be like, "Ooh, did you see so-and-so? They did this, this, and this." They just want to be in a situation where they can smell the fire and see the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So they can tell somebody else, and they can sit there with a newspaper fanning it.
Well, put it this way. There's most of them, if not all of them, are still friends with her on Facebook. I'm not friends with her. I don't talk to her. I don't do nothing. I don't say, dude, I live my own life. I do everything on my own. I'm good. But it's not like that still after so many years. She said it's pretty pathetic that my family still follows. Like, she's telling me this in person. Like we met up and we had to go over some paperwork before the notary person came in. And she says it's pretty pathetic. And she told me, ooh, things are about to get heated right now. She told me that one of my cousins actually hit her up to hang out. One of my guy cousins. And I'm thinking like, and she gave me a name. She told me who it was. She showed me the messages, I should say, actually. And I verified, yep, that's his number, all right. Wanted to hang out, wanted to go get some drinks. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I'm like, okay. I'll share one thing. Super highly personal, but at this point I don't even give a shit. She actually told my family that I left her. I cheated on her for somebody that is skinnier with bigger boobs. And that's how it ended. So I'll share something, again, to get off my chest. And there's going to be TikTok videos and shorts and all this stuff. I'm going to do it very strategically on how I do it. I've just been doing a lot of like research, thinking, reflecting. Since I've been traveling a lot, I've been like self-reflecting a lot. Dude, I'm on the road when I'm driving, like that one trip that I took to freaking Salt Lake City to Utah, bro, I left here at 10 o'clock at night and I got to Escalante, Utah at 8 a.m. I'm up the entire fucking night listening to music and just in my own head, you know, thinking. So man, I don't want to I don't want to lose my train of thought on this. So she told the whole family why I left. And
why she says you left.
Why she says I left. And a lot of my family members were backing her up.
They're like, this sounds like him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just like, the fuck? Really? Like, how many times have I been divorced? Oh, this is the first time. And they're saying like, yeah, but she did gain some weight. I'm like, when we were getting married, she was already at this weight. Sure, she gained a lot of weight and she was a lot thinner before, but when I proposed, she was already bigger. And when we went through our marriage and when we went through all this stuff, she was already at that weight. So that has nothing to do with that. It's beyond that. And they're saying like, you know, some of my family members were just like, yeah, but this is what she said. I'm like, and okay, so you're just going to believe her? And they're like, well, what happened? I'm like, why do I need to tell you? We got a divorce and this is what, and that's it. This is what happened. We're getting a divorce. It's done. Like obviously shit didn't work out. And they're like, oh, that's messed up, dude. I'm like, why is it messed up? Like, you don't know. And I don't want to tell you what happened. This is actually probably the first time I'm actually going to speak about it. So if my family members are actually listening, here it comes. So my baby sister passed away in 2015. And I also, and that was in March. In February, my stepdad, Brian, he comes on every now and then and says hello on the show. You know, we're just like, hey, you know, we're just talking about it. If he's out there, what's up? I say hi. His stepmom passed away in February, 1 month before my baby sister. The month before that, my mom's sister, one of my aunts, passes away in January. Bam, bam, bam. All freaking three of them in a row, same year. Something similar happened the year before also. January, February, March, where three people passed away. I'm not going to get into that, but again, family members. And I was like, there was a conversation that me and her had about cheating already. There's already a couple times that I already knew about certain things that she was doing. Also about drugs. Also about spending money. She literally maxed out the $50,000 credit card that we had on I don't know what. And you know, people say like there's like two causes for divorce. Typically, it's either cheating or it's finances. Well, she did both, and she didn't just do both. She did it drastically. 50 grand in the hole, which she filed for bankruptcy later, and then I had to file for bankruptcy too because, dude, it was a lot of freaking money. I think overall everything, I think it was about 80K in debt that she got us in. Now, she started getting into drugs, and this was just based on some of the friends that she was hanging out with that I kept telling her, like, dude, those are just bad influences. Like, if you're going to go over there, it's bad influences. They would go take her to clubs and take her places, and she would come back and lie about it. And so, like, yeah, we're just hanging out at their house. Yeah, okay. You ready for this one? Like, what was the actual... like the ultimatum for me to finally say either like, and this wasn't even a we're getting a divorce. This is you need to fix your shit or we are done. And this is around when my baby sister passed away, where I'm just like, I can't handle all of this anymore. You know?
Yeah.
She actually caused the divorce for her cousin because she slept with her wife, with her husband. And what grinds my gears big time is when somebody says, "Oh, I don't believe that. Why would somebody do that?" Am I here to fucking tell you
Justify her bullshit?
exactly? Am I here to justify that shit? So you're calling me a liar is what you're saying. That's how I took it. You're calling me a liar then. I'm lying about it. And I'm just making stuff up now. Okay. I'm never going to share shit with you because why? Because I'm here to justify that shit to you? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, no. And you know what I said? Okay. You want to find out from the source? Go talk to her cousin. Here's her Facebook. Here's her phone number. I was actually really cool with her cousin for a long time, like years after. I think her and me might still be friends, maybe on Facebook, but we just stopped talking altogether. Again, it's her family, and I'm kind of like, just it's your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But her and me were talking for years after the divorce because she was just trying to comprehend, like, dude, they have a kid. They have a kid together. And it's just like, how are you going to go to your cousin's husband and sleep with him when you have, I guess it would be called a second cousin, right? They would also be cousins. It's like they have a kid together. That means that's your second cousin. You're not the freaking stepmom in this situation. Like, do you understand that if you get with this dude? Do you see how disgusting that becomes now? So baby sister passed away. I told her she needs to fix her shit. I can't handle this anymore. She continued doing what she was doing with the cousin's husband and also with the cousin's husband's friend.
That's way too complicated.
So dude, literally like 3 months after that, I'm just like, here's paperwork. I'm done. I'm freaking deuces, man. I am so freaking done. And I was just like, you know what? My family should just back me up. Like, just to back me up. Like, I've never done anything wrong to anybody, and I've always been like very connected with everybody. But after that happened, I kind of like just stopped showing the family events. I stopped coming to like anybody's events, like stopped talking to a lot of my cousins and uncles and aunts. It was just like, do I need to justify this shit? Like, I really need to justify this? Okay, here's her number. Here's her Facebook. Go ahead. 70 some mutual friends, family members that are still following her to this day that have no freaking clue what exactly happened. And they're just like, yeah, but that's your situation between you and her. It's just like, you guys never had a relationship when me and her were together. She would come around, say hi, give her a hug, and then they go off to whatever La La Land they were in, go talk to the rest of the family. But they've never said, hey, you want to hang out and have a girls' night? Not once. And now all of a sudden, and this happened too with one of my cousins, they actually went to go hang out. It's like, wait, hold on a second. You got my back. You didn't call me to check on me how I'm doing, but you'd go message her and see how she's doing? Cool. Yeah. Good times, huh?
Well then.
You said, well then?
Well then. You know, sometimes it's nice when people choose to separate themselves from your life. Because unfortunately, you do have to separate family from your life sometimes. Because I mean, I've done it quite a bit where a negative influence is a negative influence, and just because we're family doesn't mean you get to take advantage of my mental state. And if you choose to fuck around, you choose to find out. That's just how it goes. So if they're blatantly going to make a move like that, right? Everyone's going to see it, but they're blatantly going to do it. I would rather see them blatantly make a move like that than keep making shady ass moves in the dark and stabbing me in the back. Because if they're going to do that to your face, do you imagine the shit they've done behind your back?
Oh yeah.
Right? I'm not trying to cause no beef, no drama, but I'm like, yo, if you shady like that, then go on with your bad self. I don't need to be involved. Cool.
Yeah. So I did have some cousins, and again, not going to mention names, that they said, "Oh, Steve's kind of different now, or weird now, or just he's not the same." So when you're younger, you'll probably burp, fart, pick your nose, flick it at somebody. I don't know. You do stupid shit. You do dumb shit. And I think guys are more, well, not just all guys, but most guys, they're nastier than women when it comes to shit like that. You know what I mean? Most of the time we just don't give a crap. And there does come a point where you do grow up a little bit and you're just like, maybe I should just like stop. Maybe like this is too childish now, or, you just when you do dumb stuff. And I had a couple cousins that were kind of like complaining or talking about me behind my back, that it got relayed to me that said, yeah, they were calling you kind of weird. They're saying that you don't like to hang out no more, or when you do hang out, you don't hang out like how you used to, like cracking jokes and burping and all that stuff. And and the one cousin was saying like, he grew up, he got married, like he's living on his own, like he's doing like he's got his own thing going. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, that's not weird. He grew up. Like, I don't know why you guys call it weird. He's not going to stay the same. He's not going to stay the same 10-year-old kid in his 40s or 30s at that point. And they're like, no, he's doing great, man. He's got his own place. He's got his own cars. He's got his own everything. He doesn't live with his parents. He doesn't like rely on anybody. He's just doing his own thing. Like, how is that weird? Just because he doesn't want to hang out anymore, he's got somebody that he's hanging out with daily, like that he loves and everything. So something else happened, and that was more like way back when. And I'm like, I get it. Maybe they miss me. Maybe they kind of like just saying like, damn, it sucks that he's not around as much because we had some good times when we were kids. And sure, sometimes I do miss it. I'm like, man, when I was a kid, I used to do stupid shit. I'm probably going to do more stupid shit as I get older. It's just going to be different stupid shit. But here's something super interesting too. I do this as a living. And this meaning, what you guys are doing. You guys are listening to us on Beyond the Streams. We go and hunt out for sponsors, or sponsors reach out to us. We have several YouTube channels that we manage. I travel, I do streaming, tech. There's like a bunch of stuff. And the easiest thing for anybody to help support the channel that costs absolutely nothing is literally like the simplest thing. When the video pops up and you've seen a post, or you see me like posting it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever social media it is, or even on here on YouTube, that you just like it. That's it. You don't even have to say nothing. It pops up, you see it, you click on the video, and then you just like it. That's it. You could run away after that if you want. That simple engagement is like, oh, cool. I have, there's a video on my old channel that I had over 1 million views and over 1 million likes, and I was like, holy crap. I'm like, dude, that's freaking awesome. And you know what? I have that exact same feeling when I put a video and I have 50 views and I get 1 thumbs up. I was like, cool, somebody appreciated this thing, somebody liked it. Awesome. You know, on Facebook, mainly Facebook, I do have a lot of family. I have a lot of friends, and because they started this whole Reels thing that you could actually add short clips, you could have followers now. Yeah, I post some stuff and I see the same uncles and aunts or cousins that will constantly comment or like, or my mom or my stepdad or my sister or my dad or a couple friends that I've met along the way, or a couple subscribers that follow me. I think I hit every avenue. And you know what? Every single time somebody does do that, you know, when you post something, you know how you could see like it says like 30 thumbs up, and you click on it and you can see everybody who's thumbed up. It's just like, oh, cool. They you know they thumbed up my stuff, and I've had people comment saying, or they'll message me and saying, you know what, you know, sometimes I don't comment, but every time I see your posts about travel, it makes me smile because you're enjoying what you're doing, and I get to experience it too through your pictures or videos. There's a couple family members that never say anything. They don't like, they don't comment, they don't nothing. And the only time sometimes somebody might say something is when I do a rant like this. My baby sister passed away, and I put this long freaking book. I just typed this long ass freaking thing out there. And I had a few people that normally never say anything and said, yeah, I read it all, or like, you know, so sorry and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, what? Because I have a loss in the family. Now you want to say something? Now you care for me because she's also related to you? Okay. Sure. Where I'm going with this is there was a post that my ex did do. And again, through the grapevine, not going to throw anybody's names under the bus. I'm not going to say who said what to where, why, how, and how it landed on in front of my face. But my ex posted a picture just recently, like not that long ago. And I had a couple family members that never comment on any of my stuff or any of some of my other family stuff. And they commented on their thing saying, hi, beautiful. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thumbs up. At a couple family members. And I don't want to say uncle, aunt, or cousin because they'll probably like narrow it down pretty quick. But a couple family members that were that said something. Or a couple family members that kind of smashed that thumbs up and said, oh, looking good. You know what I mean? Or heart. They'll put a little heart on the picture. And it's just kind of like at first I was just kind of like, I don't give a shit. it ain't a big deal, you know? Like, who cares? And then I thought about it afterwards. I'm just like, hold on a second. Why are we friends then? Why are we following each other? Why are you?
Yeah. Like, how are you in a place where you can see that?
Me?
Yeah.
Again, it got relayed to me, and I was able to look at it like this. Like, okay, somebody said, look, check this out.
Okay, so obviously we all go through that when we exit a relationship, right? Everybody goes through that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then you separate yourself from the situation. And then, yes, there is a period where people, because it always happens, they relay shit to you. But like when that happened to me, I was like, I don't give a shit. Don't show me. I don't care. Like, those people have to learn to respect boundaries as well. Because sometimes these people like drama so much that they feed off the idea that to entertain it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to teach these people to stop their bullshit. You have to, right? Like, I don't want to see it. I don't care about it. You shouldn't care about it either. And I don't give a fuck what you do, but don't tell me. Because a lot of people feed off of entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They bring things to people just at the idea of the conversation being entertained. But once we stop entertaining certain bullshit, then they have nothing to feed off of. And then they lose the motivation to fan the drama.
I could agree and also disagree with it. Because at the same time, if I have other family members posting constantly, and I could see this for myself, if I have other family members posting pictures or videos or whatever they're doing, and as you know, I do have a few family members that do post stuff. When I have my ex comment on their stuff and I see it, you know, because I'll look at it too and I'll be like, huh. I'm like, they're still friends? Like, oh, okay. It's been freaking 8 years or whatever it's been, but okay, cool. I guess they still friends. When I see that, I kind of question, like, okay, they don't like my stuff. They don't comment my stuff. Hey, can I ask you for a favor real quick? And then I kind of also ask them too. So it kind of goes, they're not just coming to me and saying, look, check it out. Like, I run into it. You know, some of these profiles are public. So when you post stuff and we're friends, I could see everything that they're posting also. You know what I mean? So it's not just people running to me telling me like, look, check this out. The way I saw it was like, yeah, look, check this out. But the story behind it was, I see the interaction because that's my cousin or my uncle or my aunt. I see that interaction. You know, if you comment on somebody's post that I don't follow, I still see it on Facebook. It still pops up because it'll say next level commented, and then it'll show like a post, and then I can see your comment. That just happens as just I'm scrolling. So when it says, and I'm just using you as an example, so that way people aren't like, what, me?
If you block her, does it still show you that shit?
Still shows you that shit. I can still see the interaction or the comment.
Then honestly, I'd be blocking my family at that point. Honestly, no, seriously. Because look, you can control what you do, and that's all you can control, right? Mm-hmm. If they still want to fuck around and find out, you can't control that, but you can control your interaction with them. And if you block them, right, people can assume whatever they want, right? The end of the day, the choices that you make on social media is for your own well-being. But if people want to automatically assume that you block them because you hate them, then that's on them. But sometimes you need to block an MFer just because you need to control what your eyes see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if sometimes honestly, recently I blocked somebody. And it was the only reason I blocked them was because I didn't want to say something to them that I was going to regret later. So that was for my own well-being, because something was happening. There was a certain situation I was going through, and I was like, you know, before I get hot-headed and say some bullshit to them that I can't take back, I'll just block them. And then when I could come back to the situation with a calmer head, I unblock them, right? But in this situation that you're talking about, I would block my family members and friends. I would, without a doubt. And if they ever came to me, I'd be like, listen, it's nothing against you. I just saw some interactions that I didn't want to see on my feed, and I had to remove myself from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against you. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't give a shit, but I have to control what I see and how I interact on social media for my well-being. And I hope that you respect and you understand that.
Yeah.
That's how I would handle that. I'd be like, yo, I'd block everybody. I'd be like, you're done. I've moved on. My life is different and I need positivity and I need motivation in my life. And seeing this bullshit, it doesn't help. So I'm not here to tell you who you can or you can't talk to, but I can control what I see and what's in my feed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that you can understand and respect that. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
And if they can't, then they deserve to be blocked, and they probably deserve to be blocked in real life and physically too.
Yeah. It's sad to me, like like when I think about like some of these family members that I'm just like, man, like we were so close. And you know what? And honestly, I was close to just about everybody, like cousins, uncles, aunts, just about everybody. And it's like, dude, like how come you can't just, like, when I first started my YouTube, why can't you just support what I'm doing? Why can't you just be like, dude, good job, or keep it up? You know what I mean? Like actually, this is what happened. I started a group for my YouTube stuff and on Facebook, and they were saying, I was just adding, like, I'm like, ooh, let me just add like everybody that I know, my cousins, uncles, aunts, family members. Like, you guys should be my number one fucking fans. You guys should be like, oh, cool, yeah, you know what? Even if I don't jump in your group to participate, let me just be here just to be a number to help it grow. And then maybe other people can find you and help grow it too, you know? So I actually got a comment, not even a phone call, not even a text. And I added a couple people and then they left. And I was just like, did I add them? I added them again. And then they left again. And I looked at it again. I'm just like, I thought I added these people. Like, for me, it was just kind of like, you know, like you and me are friends. If I told you like, hey, I just started my stuff, you'll probably be like, oh, cool, let me see what you got, you know? Just because, you know, we talk constantly. These people are family members. So I would assume, because we are that close and tight to the point that we're like, well, again, I don't want to go details and stuff and use certain verbiages, but because we're close, that you guys would want to follow and be part of that group. The comment that I got was like, this is literally what happened. If this is Steve adding me to this group, stop it. I was like, wait a minute. So you did leave the group. Okay, I wasn't the one that fucked up. You just don't want to be here. All right, whatever. You don't have to be here. That's fine. I don't need you to be here if you don't want to be here. I just found it very interesting. Like, I'm just like, damn, dude, I thought you would just want to, like, typically with groups, you have to go in there and, you know, like conversate and stuff. If I'm sharing something in that group, like, you'll see a post, but that's the same thing. Like, if you're my friend and I'm posting, and if you don't want to interact with it, you just keep scrolling. It's like, it's not a big deal, but okay, apparently it's a big deal. So I was like, okay, that was way back when. And yeah, I don't know. I just find it very, I just find it really weird. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I kind of live with no expectations. So I don't expect anything from any family members or friends. So I don't expect them to like me. I don't expect them to like anything I do. I don't expect them to support me. I don't expect anything like that.
But
So
you've also
have
never had that. You also never grew up with that either, though. Put it this way.
I was close with my family growing up, like my cousins. I've been close with them.
Put it this way. I'll give you an example and tell me if you still would repeat your statement that you just said. From birth all the way up to 18, where I pretty much don't have control of anything. I'm living under my parents' roof. I'm pretty much doing whatever they say. I got to go to school. I don't have control of my family. I can't, this is what it is. If they say we're going to a party, we're going to a freaking party. We're going to my cousin's house or my grandma's house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we ran. We would have monthly get-togethers. We would constantly see each other. There's a point that some of my cousins people would call us the three amigos. They would say like, you guys are like freaking brothers, and we would call each other brothers. Some of my uncles and aunts, like I had some aunts that are like super overprotected over me. I had some uncles that really were like, yeah, you're like a son to me too, you know. So the bond that I had with these people, it's funny, these people, it wasn't just for the first 18 years. That's not really so much like out of my control, but this is something that I was raised in, and something that we had this bond that we continued beyond the 18 years. This went all the way into my 30s. So let's just round it down. Let's just say from birth all the way to freaking the age of 30. This is how it's always been. You know what I mean? It's 30 years. Not something that I learned, not something that I was I found out later growing up. This is like, I was born here. I was born in this situation, and I was born having this type of backup, this type of support, this type of connections, like for 30 years straight. This is all I've known. Like, hey, I need help with something. Cool. What do you need? I'm going through this bullshit. I'm fucking there. You know what I mean? Like I've had that backup for 30 years. This happens. And, you know, I got married and I grew up, and they're like, well, Steve's not the same anymore. And it's just like, well, yeah, he grew up. It's like, duh. It's kind of what happens. You grow out of your diapers, dude. Like, you probably should do it too. And all of a sudden, it's not even an expectation. It's this is just how it is. It's, you know, like me and my sister have a very close relationship. Me and her, we argued so much, and I think that's kind of typical with when you're kids, you know, but not as much as we did. like we we were like fighting constantly. And it wasn't until we got older that we started to appreciate each other a lot more. Like, well, not a lot more. We just started appreciating each other, period. But that relationship with them is very like, I don't know. It's just like, damn, dude, I could rely on you having my back. I can't do that no more. And I'm pretty sure one of them or a couple of them will say like, no, you still could. You have my number. You could have called me. You could have done this. You could have. I'm sure they could have. They're going to say something like that. But yeah, within the last 8 years, it's been like just a drastic disconnect. So yeah, I don't know if I would call it an expectation. I don't know if I call it like I expect them to do this. But being family and being what they've been all my life, I don't know what the word is, man, but it's kind of like you know what? I saw a post of I think it was on TikTok, and it was kind of like relationship expectations. And it said expectations to like my future husband, or expectations to my future boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it was. And it was kind of like listing like 3 things. And then it stops and it says, wait, these aren't expectations. These are requirements. Like, this is what I am. This is who I am. This is who I've been. So if you can't do this, then I don't expect you to do this or not do this. Like, if you can, cool, because you will. If you don't, then it is what it is. Move on. Maybe it's something like that, where it's just like, man, like, you know what? This is something that is like, I'm so used to it, how we've always been. And sure, we might have grown apart over the years, but I don't know, to the point that you're supporting my ex or liking her or trying to go out with her or trying to continue a conversation with her. Yeah, I actually have crossed that line where I'm just like, I'm going to start unfriending just about a lot of you fools.
Do it.
Do it.
There's a graph. They fuck around, they find out. And sometimes finding out is realizing that they've been blocked physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, like everything.
Yeah. I got one more thing, and this one's going to be a little bit shorter. We're already an hour in. But I got one more piece to this whole thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some family members that are going to be like, was that directed to me? You know what? If the shoe fits, it might not. But if you feel some kind of way, are you not telling me something, or do you need to tell me something? That's actually the best part about it. When people think that it's about them specifically and even has nothing to do with them, but they feel some kind of guilt or some kind of something, then it's just like, okay, if you feel some kind of way, instead of saying, does this have to, are you talking about me? Why don't you tell me what you're feeling? Why do you need some kind of validation for you to feel better if it's not about you? Ooh, I kind of like that one. Rewind that if you need to listen to it. Okay, second piece. My baby sister passed away in 2015. This is going to be a lot shorter, by the way. And I had family fucking coming out of the woodworks. Okay, so I know this is going to be like, this might, again, piss people off, might not, whatever. There's only 2 times that your entire family freaking loves you unconditionally. 1, when you're born, because they don't know jack shit about you. And 2, when you're dying, because they feel bad about something. Or maybe not dying, maybe when you're dead already, at the funeral, at the cemetery. When she passed away, I had a lot of family members that came out, and it was a very sudden thing. I had some people that were kind of like, oh, if she would have done this, and I'm just like, dude, she passed away from a car accident. It has nothing to do with her getting in fights or her smoking weed or her doing whatever bullshit she was doing at the age of fucking 20, 21, which you probably did the same exact shit or something similar, or you did your own freaking thing, whatever that was at that age, you know? We all did dumb shit around that age. And I had some family members that had the freaking cojones. You know what cojones are, right? Your huevos. I had some family members that actually said, if she didn't do, or if she behaved better, if she didn't do weed or if she didn't do this, I'm just like, what the fuck does that have to do with her car accident? And I actually had, oh man, I actually had somebody say, and you know what? Fuck it. I like, she probably wouldn't care. Well, she might. I don't know. My sister said something to me, says like, dude, this is a fucking like tragedy. What happened? This is a fucking car accident. What happened? This has nothing to do with whatever demons she was battling during that time. Like nothing to do with that. I even had some family members saying like, oh, if your mom would have stayed in this city instead of moving to this other city, I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? What if I would have eaten McDonald's instead of Burger King, that would have fixed that too? You know what I'm saying? It's your fault. Damn it. Dude, I actually had family members that were saying stupid shit like that. And it wasn't just family members. There was also some friends that came out of the woodworks that were all of a sudden trying to be her BFF, my baby sister, and they showed up during her funeral, like crying about everything, saying like, "Oh, never gonna forget you, never gonna do this, and I'm so sorry, and this and that." Just like, dude, you freaking left. You stopped talking to her. You kicked her out of the house. You told her stop calling me, stop texting me, stop doing this, and yet here we are. And it's almost like this vicious cycle where people forget. They were like, I had so many people coming to me like, I like me and my other sister were going to the mortuary, or we had to go to the coroner's office, and I really didn't want my other sister coming with me to like everything. Like I don't know how many times I went to the mortuary, and to the cemetery by myself, like talking to people and relaying messages to my mom and her birth dad, my first stepdad, just like trying to get shit together. I didn't want my other sister being around so much stuff, even though she did attend some of it, because she was freaking 8 months pregnant. And I'm just like, dude, you need to take care of that little human that's inside of you right now. Like, I know this is like hard because we just lost our freaking sister, but we even like, she had friends that were like being selfish about the whole situation, saying like, "Oh, I needed you and you're over here like ignoring me." And she's like, "Dude, my baby sister just passed away. And I'm 8 months pregnant. What do you want me to do?" Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I had some family members that were just like talking to me constantly, checking on me constantly because of that situation. As soon as that situation kind of, and I guess there's an expiration date. I guess when people think like, "Oh, you're good now. You're good, right? It's been a year. You're fine. You're fine. It's been 7 years. You're good, right?" 30 years later, you're good, right? You know what I mean? Calls stopped, text messages stopped, wellness checks stopped, everything stopped. Cold turkey, like nothing happened. And it's just kind of like, damn, like, I don't need that. I don't expect that. But when you do see another family member pass away and everybody starts acting a fool all over again, and I know some people are going to get offended by that term, whatever, where everybody's like crying, everybody's sad, everybody can't believe it. And it was just like, we knew with my grandmother that was coming. She was in her mid-90s. We knew that was coming. And it's just that vicious cycle again. Everybody's like sad and crying and depressed and whatever demons everybody's going through. And then that's it. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened until two things happened. Maybe a third, but two things happened. When it's either their birthday again or the date that they passed. Other than that, the rest of the 360 whatever days, nothing happened. And I don't know. I think it's my brother-in-law has gone through several deaths in the family on his side. And my sister probably said it the most perfect way that I could ever like digest it, is when people pass away, their true colors come out. People get greedy with possession stuff. They want things. People get angry and they start telling people off. Why don't you come visit more often? Why don't you go call them more often? Why don't you do something more often? Some people will be remorseful at first, or some people might be crying at first, or, it hurts. But then later on, they just kind of go back to whatever it was where they just didn't really give a shit. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. When my baby sister passed, I had so many people saying, like, life's too short. She died so young. And I almost got offended by that. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm over here married for 2.5 years, looking at possibly getting a divorce at that moment of time. And, you know, when people reach like the 5-year mark, they're like, wow, you were married for a long time. 10 years. Wow, dude, 10 years. That's awesome. When they're married for 20 years. Holy crap, dude, you guys put up with each other for 20 years? Damn. You know what I mean? 20 years all of a sudden is a long time. But when somebody passes away, 20 years is too young. And yeah, I got in a lot of fights with my baby sister. I got in a lot of arguments. And there's a lot of times that I just had to back her up on stuff that I didn't agree with. And I had my roller coasters, my up and down, but I never stopped loving her. I never stopped. You know, if I didn't talk to her, it was for like maybe a couple weeks, maybe at the most. But it's crazy how when people look at that and saying life is so short, it's like, it's not that it's so short because, dude, a lot of stuff could happen within 1 year. Life is just too fragile. And that's what I've been saying ever since that happened. Life is just too fragile. We're not Superman, Superwoman, whatever you want to call yourself. Shit happens. And you never know when your time is up. You go to bed and not wake up. That happens a lot. But I just find it really interesting, like with all that stuff, how, I don't know, family and friends. It's not just family. I know I've been kind of harping on family, but you know, some friends too. I've definitely lost some friends during this whole process. You know, with my divorce and then with my baby sister's situation. But yeah, that's pretty much what has been grinding my gears for several years. And this mental battle thing with my ex, I can give a shit. You know, that doesn't bother me at all at what happened. Now it did take me a while just to like, dude, how can you do that? But whatever, it happened. It's done. I'm in a much better, happier situation now. And you know, the whole thing with my baby sister, that's something that I'm going to be in my 50s soon, 60s, 70s, 80s, and I will never be able to swallow that pill because she should be here as we get older, you know? So yeah, that's the end of my my rant.
I think the bottom line is everybody copes with loss in their own way. And it never leaves you. So if you feel like you need a support system, you need to find one. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of like how I don't expect people to do things for me or be there for me or whatever. If I get to a moment where I need to talk to somebody, then I need to find somebody to talk to. And if I gotta friggin' pay for somebody to listen to my bullshit, then I'm gonna do it because I can't expect somebody else to listen to me because everyone's moving on with their own life. And sometimes people deal with shit by burying it. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about emotionally. So Yeah, we can't see what they're dealing with in their head, and it can seem like a cold shoulder or that they've forgotten about a situation or whatever it is, but sometimes people have to bury shit so that they can move on with their life. It's very difficult to lose a loved one, and I haven't. I mean, any amount of loved ones that you lose is a significant amount, but it's all things that I think define us as people and puts us down paths that we go through in our lives. So, I used to always tell people, reach out, just say what's up to somebody if you thought about them. But at the end of the day, like internally, if we need that support, then we also have to be willing to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And don't be afraid. Anybody out there listening that's kind of like hitting home for a couple things or some things that you could relate to, maybe not necessarily with my situation, but whatever situations that you're going through. I've sought help. I've talked to therapists. I've talked to counselors. I've gone through all that process. Every now and then, if I need it, I still go through that process. And I think that's a process that will probably never stop. The one thing people do say, which I think is a load of shit, is it gets easier every day, but it doesn't. Especially when you lose a loved one, it doesn't get easier. You just learn to live. Learn to live without that person. Never forget her. I never forget who's passed, and I constantly think about it. Some days are much harder than others, but mental health is a very serious thing. So if anybody needs it out there, definitely, and sometimes it can be a family member. Me and my sister, we talk a lot about stuff, and sometimes it could be that simple. Sometimes it could be a little bit more on the professional side, but yeah. Sorry to end on a sad note on this one. I thought honestly you're gonna say, and that's the bottom line.
Well, that's pretty heartless. Like, I'm not going to do that. I just think that everybody needs a wake up call on both sides, right? Like, yes, it's nice to have support, but at the same time, if you need support, then you kind of have to learn how to either ask for it or find it, because not everything you need in this life is going to come search out and find you and destroy you. I mean, wait, that's something else.
Decepticons, no?
Yeah, I don't know.
Decepticons. So hope you guys appreciated today's episode. Life just continues if we like it or not. It doesn't matter who passes away. Doesn't matter who supports us. Blood is not always thicker than water. And yeah.
There's one thing that I always tell people, like, this isn't about like losing people, but there are a lot of times family and friends, and I'm not trying to diss anybody in particular. If you think I'm talking about you, sure, whatever. I don't give a shit. But a lot of times people stay in the hood because the people that are closest to us keep us in the hood. A lot of times my family members and friends, they start businesses, and I try to pay more than what they ask for their products or services. Because if I care about them or I care about their business, then I should support them getting out the hood, right? By asking for a discount or whatever it is, we're devaluing our relationship with them and keeping them in the hood instead of supporting their dreams and where they could go. So just kind of, we have to be willing to support people if we really care about them and not devaluing them and taking advantage of the people that we care about. So it's really about, if you care about somebody, be as supportive as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't mean go to my videos and start liking all my shit.
And it doesn't mean not to go to my videos and not like my shit.
Yeah.
It means,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what?
You want to take it. You take it. You hear me?
You're gonna call me right now. Wait, what were you saying? I feel some kind of way.
If it's warm and fuzzy, then keep it there.
Yeah, keep it there. And don't let it out. Don't pull the finger. So yeah, again, appreciate you guys coming and listening to our BS. Can't make this shit up. It is it sucks, and at the same time it doesn't suck. It's like, cool, that's what you choose, awesome. But and then I've met a lot of people along the way that are a great support system. So yeah, stay tuned to the next episode because you don't know what kind of BS we're going to talk about. Hopefully, well, it shouldn't be this emotional. But if you guys do appreciate today's content, as always, you know, we tell you guys, smash that thumbs up, leave us a comment. All those little interaction stuff helps us understand what you guys like and what you guys want to listen from us. So anytime you guys do show that support, we pay attention. We see the comments, we see the interactions, we see the replies, we see the thumbs up or the shares, we see all of it. So when you guys do that, it means a lot to us, more than you probably think. So yeah, next, what do you got before we go?
Well, you know, thank you guys for watching and listening to another episode of Beyond the Streams. Wherever you guys are watching or listening to us from, make sure you leave us a comment or review so other people like yourself can find the content that you enjoy. Make sure that you also hit that subscribe and that notification icon so that you never miss a thing. You never know where the conversation is going to go or who we might have on. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.